Okay, welcome back. 11:10. I've just had to fight with the chair because I've got my headphones all tangled up in the chair. I'm really sorry if you wondered where I was, ladies and gentlemen. Right, now, new research has revealed around a third of people feel nervous or physically sick when checking their account. And millions of you are lying to your partners about the state of their finances. Oh, naughty, naughty. Also, 85% of Brits couldn't tell you how much is actually in their bank account. Now, a survey is to mark National Stress Awareness Day. Joining me now on the line, founder and director and head of Stress Management Society, Neil Shah and Clare Framrose from Atom Bank. Welcome to the Mid-Morning In Conversation show, Neil and Clare.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, I was stressed.
Yes, we noticed.
I was stressed.
Are you okay now? We were worried about you.
I had to turn the chair upside down.
Yeah, we were going to call someone. We just weren't sure who to call, the fire brigade, the police or an ambulance.
So what exactly did this survey reveal about our finances?
It was an interesting one. Obviously, we were looking at the sort of the key things that are likely to cause people stress in modern society, and finances came up as one of them. So we were really lucky that Atom Bank agreed to work with us to really understand how people are being impacted by stress. And one of the key things that we found is that a lot of people, their stress levels tend to spike around the time they get paid. And you'd think that that's the time where people will be less stressed because money's dropped into their account. Claire, do you want to share with us what's the reason for that?
Yeah, so what we think is that people get paid and then they have a number of direct debits and bills, mortgage or rent going out of their account, and they start panicking about the amount of money that's going to be left over that gets them to the next payday. And this is really concerning for us, and it's something that we're interested to hear at Atom because as the UK's first digital bank, we're really trying to connect with people to encourage them to take control of their finances and to make sure that they do whatever they can to get back in control and get rid of that stress.
Now, Claire, like you say, Atom Bank, you're relatively new on the block, so to speak, since 2014. So what's your view of why you thought there was an opening in the market for another bank?
Well, we feel that the traditional banks aren't maybe serving the customer needs that are around in the market at the moment as well as they could. We are, as I said, we're a digital-only bank, and Atom operates through an app, and we're trying to do it in a way that's very relevant to today's consumers. So, for example, the way that you validate yourself as a customer is you would have a passcode as you typically would for a banking app, but you also can validate yourself using voice recognition and by taking a selfie so that we use face recognition. So we're really trying to make the experience meaningful to today's customers. And we're also very aware of the fact that customers need more of a personal approach from their bank, and we feel that that's not necessarily something that people are getting. So Atom is making sure that through the app we can give a personalised experience to customers, we can engage with them, and we can put them back in control of their own finances.
Now, I know there's going to be lots of our listeners sitting there thinking, well, how safe is Atom Bank?
It is 100% safe. So the security measures that I've just talked about, in fact, what we find is that the things like the face and voice recognition are as safe, if not more safe, than using your passcode, because a lot of people write down their passcodes and then somebody else can easily pick that up and type it in. But nobody else can have your face. Nobody else can have your voice. We also make sure that we associate your accounts with your device so that if somebody else happens to try and tap in using your PIN on a different device, we recognise that and we won't let them in. So it's very secure, very safe. We're also covered, at the minute we've got savings accounts live, and we're covered, as are all the other banks, under the FSCS scheme. So that protects deposits of up to £75,000 in your accounts.
Now, Neil, why do you think people are more stressed today? Do you think that we're more stressed today than we were, say, 20 years ago?
Absolutely. And the reason for that is we're expected to cope with more information than we were 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have devices in our pockets that were churning information to us at a rate of knots. 20 years ago, when people woke up, the first thing they did when they opened their eyes wasn't checking their phone. 20 years ago, the last thing people did at night before they went to bed probably wasn't checking their phone. Again, 20 years ago, 23% of smartphones in Britain that were swabbed in a research study by University of Greenwich didn't have fecal matter on them because people weren't sat on the toilet checking their phones. And that's the truth. We live in a society where we are always on. We talk about the zombie apocalypse. It's already hit. I live in London, and you ride the tube or walk the streets, and the majority of people
Everybody
are looking at a screen.
Down. They're looking down.
Yeah, we've zombified, and like human interaction is diminishing. People are spending less time in social structures. Pubs are closing every day. Now, I'm not advocating going for a drink, but it was a social environment where people actually engaged and interacted with each other. That doesn't happen anywhere near as much. The amount of times I've been out to a restaurant and you've got families and couples that are sitting there having a meal, looking at their phones, not actually even making eye contact. That's one of the significant reasons that people are more stressed today than they were 20 years ago, because the way we engage and interact with each other has diminished significantly. And we also have avoidance tactics. We are avoiding facing the challenges we're facing on a daily basis because we're distracted by faceache, aka Facebook. We're distracted by the internet. We're distracted by, the Big Brother and all that nonsense, rubbish television. And we don't really take the time to focus on the important issues like our finances, like our relationships, like, global issues like climate change and poverty and hunger and, the way we're destroying the environment, because we're distracted by the inane. And so much so that the study that we conducted has suggested that 2 in 5 Brits would prefer to be caught in embarrassing situations such as having sex, being caught with your flies down, dress caught in your knickers, or being tangled up in your chair when you're live on radio, than for a stranger to know your financial situation, because we just don't want to face those.
I quite agree with you, Neil. I really do. Neil, where can our listeners find out more information?
Okay, there's 2 places people can get more information. If you want to find out how you're doing with stress, you can take our personal stress test and find lots of really great information about dealing with stress at www.stress.org.uk. And to better manage your finances and to find out about the Atom app,
you can go to atombank.co.uk, and you can also follow us at the Atom Bank official page on Facebook.
All right, what we'll do, we'll put all that information up on our Facebook programme page.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
also our Twitter page for you. Neil and Claire, thank you both very much for joining us today. Thank you both.
Great.
Thank